Under this, we have Ram Mohan Roy, Swami Dayanand, Sri Ramakrishna, and then Mahatma Gandhi, right? So today we are going to start with Roy, right? Hopefully after we'll see the time. If I don't take too much of your time, we can discuss questions also on Roy, right? I have sent you a PDF, some notes on Roy. You can take a look. For now, we are going to use this one from your book. So if you have the book, page 231, right? And else other things which I'm going to refer in this note as well, which is not in the book, right? So later you can note it down or even during the explanation. So before coming to Roy, let's understand the situation of the state, the condition of the Indian society, right? During the 18th, even much before 18th century, right? There were many social and religious evils, which we call social religious problems, right? There were also economical problems, political problems, right? The reformers we are going to study, their major focus were the social and religious reforms, but they also tried to bring certain reforms in the economy, in the political situation as well of the country, right? But we are going to focus majorly, yes, you will see a bit of their political thing if, right? But majorly on the social and religious reforms of those reformers we have to study. Now I was saying that what were the problems? What were the situation of the Indian society in the 18th or even much before the 18th century, right? So if we see the social evils, the society, how it was, I, I do believe you know all these stuff, but like sati system is when the husband dies, the the wife, the widow, she burns herself on the pyre of the husband, right? She might do that willingly, or she would be forced to do that, right? Most of the time, she was forced to do that because, uh, you know, ending one's life is definitely not the solution. Most of the time, these women, they were forced to burn themselves, to be sati, right? But if we have to understand, if we have to understand the meaning of the word sati, Sita also was a sati, right? So if we have to understand the meaning, sati means a chaste woman. Sati does not actually mean to enter the pyre, the burning pyre of the dead husband. No. Sati means to be chaste, or what you call chastity. Or we can call that a pure woman also, right? That is the meaning of sati. The name sati has been given to this malpractice of burning the lady, the widow. The name sati has been given to that malpractice to show, to relate to that the woman, the widow, is chaste, is pure, right? That's why it has the name sati. Mais sinon, le mot sati, il veut dire chaste woman. And as you know, even Parvati, one of her form is sati, mother sati, right? But that was the situation. Sati system was practiced. Infanticide, where babies were killed, right? It might be even in the womb. Okay, mais ça in much later parce que previously they would not know if the baby was a boy or a girl, right? But this came much later. If they came to know that the woman is pregnant with a baby girl, so they would do abortion, right? But infanticide will be like, let's say a baby is born and the baby happened to be a girl. In some of the villages, they would kill the baby. Maybe you have seen in movies, and this is the reality. Either they put the baby kinfik nela, if it's a girl, they put the baby in boiling water or boiling milk, or they throw the baby away, ou bien je t'enterre enfants-là aussi alive. That also they do that, right? Because girls were considered to be burden. Girls won't be the breadwinner, to earn money, etc. So another problem. Unforced to widowhood. If the woman was not made sati, she was forced to remain widow throughout her life, right? Wearing white clothes. Some of them, they would shave the head, right? We depend in different places, different villages, different practices. No? Certain place they would practice sati, other place they would shave the head, les autres places would pas shave. It depends, right? On the society, of the village, what were their belief, right? But they were forced to remain widowed throughout their life. In India, maybe still today we have what we call ashram. Ashram in terms of homes, no, for widows only. They have nowhere to go, and especially if they don't have sons, si je enfants ou bien garçons specifically, so they have nowhere to go, and then they go to these ashram. Mostly these ashram will be found in places like Mathura or something, religious places like this. So they are going to spend their life there. So enforced widowhood, we still have that in our Indian society. Because Indian society and not Mauritian context, of course not. So that was another issue, enforced widowhood. Why I just mentioned if the widow does not have a child, because in the Manusmriti is was written by Manu. Was written by Sage Manu, where we have the laws of the Hindu society there, right? Written in it. We have the Veda also later, scripture, Ninabuku and other version which come with time. So we have the Manusmriti. We don't have this only as Manusmriti, we have other Smritis as well, but Manusmriti is given more importance, right? So in the Manusmriti, it has been said that, later I will send you the verse exactly how it is. A woman, a girl, right? Let's take a girl, is under the custody, right? Remains under the custody of father, right? Later on, when she's a youth, she gets married. She stays under the responsibility, protection, or custody of the husband. When she becomes a widow, she remains under the custody or protection of the son. And then, of course, there will be death later on. This is what has been written in Manu Smriti. That is, she should always be under the protection of someone. It has been clearly stated in that a woman should never be left independent, right? That's a matter of discussion, of course, but that's not our topic. What I wanted to tell you, ki faire nena sa enforced widowhood la. Okay, but the point is, even in the Manusmriti, it has been clearly stated that widows can remarry, right? But where was the problem then? Qui fait nous enforced widowhood? Parce que the messages of the Vedas, the messages of the Manusmriti were not properly imparted to the mass, to people, right? So then, c'est pour ça qu'il y a those malpractices. No scripture tells us to do sati. No scripture tells us to do infanticide. This is a sin to take the life of someone, whoever the someone is, my son, the other one child, or whatever. We don't have the right. So these things are clearly stated in Vedas, in Manusmriti, whether about we should not kill, whether it is about widow can remarry, but the messages, the teachings were not properly imparted. Ça veut dire problème là, c'était the problem was from the Brahmins. Brahmins, or you say, they were usually the priests, the sages, qui peut-être we can say they the travail properly as it should be, right? Maybe most of them they became so money-minded, couldn't prefer, right? Is it God these to keep this knowledge, these teachings of the Vedas, of the scriptures secretly, Japan revealed to people, maybe for their own benefit, right? So my point was that enforced widowhood, bien sati, nothing as such is written in the scriptures. It's up to the lady if she wants to remain a widow or she wants to get married, whatever she wants to do, right? Child marriage was another malpractice at the very young age, oh, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, they get married. Men and fille and garçon at the very young age, they get married. But after marriage at this age, ça can reste de parents, right? At the age of puberty, then the lady, the girl is sent to the groom's house, right? And then souvent des fois, in such cases, the girls were becoming widows even before the age of puberty. So à l'âge, let's say one example I give you, in marié 8 ans, 12 ans, in widow. At the age of 12, one become widow and she has to remain widow throughout her life, right? So this was causing lots of problems. Caste system, you know well by now, the Varna system, the Brahman, the Kshatriya, the Vaishya, and the Shudra, right? So these are the 4 castes, but there were problems among them. The Brahmin considered themselves to be superior and others to be inferior and all. With that came the problem of untouchability. Untouchability, c'est ça qui nous appelle Dalit. Gandhi was calling them Harijan, right? Where the untouchables, that is the worth of being touched, the high caste don't even talk to them, don't mingle with them. Denial of women's education, girls were not allowed to go to study, right? They were not allowed in Gurukul, maybe for a specific reason because it's in the forest. About the girls' protection, about the girls' own body, right? But they could be educated, no? Même si they pas dans Gurukul, right? but they were denied education. And even at schools, colonial and modern, education system, still they were not allowed, right? C'est pas que India dans scriptures that women should not be educated. Of course, they should be educated. The Vedas were compiled. All the Vedas were compiled by sages, no? Rishi Kumandya. Rishi. Among those rishis, we had approximately 24 rishikas. The feminine word of rishi will be rishika, right? Approximately 24. There's the mention, like what I can remember now is like Gargi, right? One example, Gargi. So we had those rishikas, right? Female sages who also gave their contribution in compiling the verses of the Vedas, right? So at no point we can say that women should not be allowed to study. Of course, why was there this concept that girls should not study? Parce que if you were a girl, and ces parents-là, they considered the girl, to be a burden. Why should the parent invest on the girl when the girl sooner will get married and will leave the house? That was usually the mindset. And of course, the girl is not the breadwinner, so why should she get educated? That was usually the mindset. And of course, one important thing, that a woman, a girl, n'est pas supposément sortie de la maison, right? She was always confined within the four walls, and her duty was only taking care of the family and procreating children. That was the duty, their duties, right? Parda, zot couvert zot la tête. We still have that in India, mais zot pas couvert à ce point-là. Donc, zot faire parda là, li dépasse un petit peu, zot li court même, right, at that time. Why was this system introduced? Okay. Normalement, the purpose of introducing this parda system, que je couvert la tête, je couvert même completely, is that men, lustful men of the society, especially Konchena ban kings, ban rulers, right? Et aussi dans ma société, une man soubedar, peut-être dans film, vous entendez le mot soubedar. So usually they were high class people having a high position in the society, and they were usually wealthy, right? So these women were becoming prey of these men. So that's why the parda was introduced, for the protection of the woman, right? But with time, it happened that this has become an pretext for women not to go out of the house. Parce que définitivement, quand on a une parda qui vient jusqu'à plus en bas au licou, it's practically not possible to see your way and to walk and to do something, no? So that was then it became a malpractice. It was actually for the protection, but it became a malpractice. Prohibition of foreign travel. Why foreign travel was prohibited? Because they thought that is the way to conserve their culture, especially the Orthodox people, right? That was the way to conserve the culture and the tradition. If we travel abroad, bien sûr, c'est the European countries at that time, most of the time, we had the British. traveling abroad will mean forgetting one's culture, forgetting one's tradition. That was their mindset at that time. So that's why they were not allowed to travel. And maybe if you know that Gandhi's mother also did not want Gandhi to travel. Gandhi had to promise her three things before traveling. Premier, he would stay away from wine, from meat, and from women, right? À ce point-là, it was considered bad, in a sense, you can say, parce que Lipo capable forget his own culture, abandon his own culture, and practice the other one. So these are a few things in the society. We had also many other problems, religious problems. We had blind beliefs and superstitions. For example, widows should not attend certain ceremonies. And quand il est tombé, it is bad omen, things like superstitions. And it also led to the problem of black magic, okay, where people shifted from devotion to God to black magic, right? So there was a degeneration in the society. Like we had also the problem of, and social problem, Kipan mentioned on the livre will be polygamy. Sorry, not polygamy. Polygamy is a man having many wives, right? So that was a problem in the society. And women was not also longtemps the law constitution of India. Okay. Parce qu'il y en a que madame and fille, she should get property. Okay. They were not actually getting property from their parents and from husband as well, right? That was also another problem, right? Now we have also the problem of polytheism. Polytheism is definitely not a problem in itself. Polytheism veut dire quand we worship different forms of God, right? It's definitely not a problem. Maybe you are polytheist. Lundi, you peut prier Shiv, mardi, you prier Hanuman or something, no? It's definitely not a problem, but this led to other problems, right? This led to other problems, especially those who believed in the forms of Shakti. They started praying Kali, which is definitely not wrong, but many people in the name of Kali, they do black magic black magic. Okay. Then this led to other problem. It is not a problem in itself. C'est ça mindset can fait ça un problem, right? So these are a few problems. Okay, we have many of them, many issues. So these are few, and then we had many reformers who came to remedy the situation, to bring a reform, like you have in your syllabus to study Roy, Dayanand, Ramakrishna, Gandhi. We don't have Vivekanand in our syllabus, right? But we have these four, right? Many societies were founded, like the Brahma Samaj, Arya Samaj, Pratna Samaj, Ramakrishna Mission, and all, to remedy the situation, right? All these reforms we are going to talk, it all started by Roy. That's why the Indian Renaissance started. Renaissance is a renaissance. It's a new beginning. It's with Roy. Roy is considered to be the first, listen properly, the first modern reformer. Right? He is definitely not the first reformer of the society. Yeah? The first reformer in Sakapava where other people, there are other sages. Tulsidas is considered a reformer, right? Many other sages, poets, même dans 6e century, they were reformers. But if we talk of modern India, modern society as from 17th, 18th century, Roy is definitely the first one, right? So we are going to see the chapter Roy, right?